So Orange are our longest standing, kind of biggest client at Poe. We've worked with them for about 7 years, going on 8 years. And so you know, when a sort of product or some kind of message, you know, rolls into their marketing team, then we'll tend to plug into that in some way, shape or form and try and bring it to life or do something with it. So they came up with an offer which was called Unlimited, which spanned all of those services. So you could get unlimited broadband and unlimited mobile use and, you know, whatnot. So they wanted to talk about that, and they had Fallon created a bunch of, you know, some really nice ads that talked about that in one way, and we just felt like one, you know, really powerful way to talk about that was just create a never-ending web page, which has this really nice sort of poetic aspect to it, and something that we know in the context of the web was something that would be easily transmittable through conversation. You know, so we're obviously, you know, even 3-4 years ago when we did it, we were still in the era of social media, where obviously in order to get things talked about, they have to be quite sort of single-minded and easy to like wrap up in a few, you know, like a couple of sentences. It just felt like a page that never ends is something that people, even, you know, without any writing skills, would be able to pick up on. And sure enough, you know, that worked really well. So yeah, we made this never-ending web page, which was actually reasonably easy to sell in. I think everybody liked the ambition and got it straight away. So that was great. But then we had to figure out what we're going to put on it. What you find as you're looking through it are these sort of game engines, if you like. So there's quite, you know, there's one that's a chat bot where you can have a conversation with this, you know, with this automated thing, which is quite funny and interesting. We've rewritten some of the scripts as well, so you get some unexpected parts of the conversation. And then, like I said, there are these things where it invites you to kind of create something. So you can create an ice cream name, you know, have a combination of different ice creams, and then you name it, and then you add it to the top of this big ice cream. So there are a number of these kind of dynamics, and what we had to do, just in order to kind of get lots of stuff out of a relatively limited budget, was to, you know, use the same mechanics but reskin. So we kind of retheme some of the games. There's another one which is like an evolutionary game where you birth 5 things, and then you pick one of them, and then it creates another set of offspring. And that's, you know, that's a robot version. There's another kind of crazy, freaky kind of monster version of it. So you can start to see the repeating. You can start to see the repeating, you know, mechanics, having spent some time on it. The really hard thing in a commercial situation often is to retain a kind of singularity. This like single-minded, very focused, simple idea at the heart of something. There's always, when people spend money on stuff, they always want more. It's really easy to sell them something more complex than something simpler, partly because often the simpler thing is no less expensive. In some cases, it's more expensive. So when you come to a client with an idea like a never-ending web page, it's all, in a way, it sounds unambitious. It sounds too simple to, you know, it doesn't match their sense of ambition, because they don't understand the complexity in delivering something that, yes, as a statement, as an idea, is very simple, but as an experience, you know, ticks all the boxes it needs to tick in order to really, really function and really perform. So Unlimited, it felt like, was one of the first things where we'd done that, where we'd actually managed to do that at some scale, where we'd managed to get the client really behind something that was, you know, that was a, you know, a 4 or 5 month, very, very, you know, intensive development process, but ended up with something that anybody could describe in a sentence, like I was talking about earlier. Every kind of innovation that happens on a hardware or software level sort of affects us in some way. We're kind of part to it. Because of that, we're just very, very focused on what's happening now and what's coming up, because we're very aware that kind of gives new possibilities to us. But what it stops us doing is actually looking back and thinking that what has happened and what has already passed is really important in informing, you know, not just where we are but where we're going. You know, politicians and, you know, army generals and all those things, they always look back at what happened before, because it does teach them something. It teaches them about, you know, these things. It might have been guns one year, it might have been spears another, but, you know, the way that those things, you know, the way that those stories played out will tell you something about what will happen when it's, you know, nuclear arsenals and laser guns, you know.